Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm going to be showing you guys my favorite model, and this is my favorite. I've not really posted this on Twitter or talked about it. I just kind of posted the generic models. So what you're going to have to understand for this model is a few things. So you have to know where liquidity is. So this is the 3 minute. If I kind of zoom out a little bit, you can kind of see that we have liquidity here. We have liquidity here. So when looking to take this model, you kind of want to make sure we fit liquidity. And in this situation, this is going to be a short model, and just make sure we hit liquidity. That's going to give you the best chance of success. And if we haven't hit liquidity, I'll teach you. It's basically the same thing if we haven't hit liquidity. So say we just missed this swing high, and we didn't hit liquidity yet. It's still going to work, in my opinion. But let me just show you what the setup is. So on this retrace, or on this bullish buildup, right? Do you see how we technically have a market structure shift here? Someone could see this and be like, oh, that's definitely a market structure shift. And you'd be like, oh, I'm looking for a retrace for a long. And depending on like the momentum and where liquidity is, where would you usually long on a market structure shift? You usually long in discount. So if we draw a fib, you want to long down here. But in this situation, there's no fair value gap. And this is the 3 minute. There might be on the 5 minute. I don't believe there was, but again, you want to long down here. So in this setup, what you're going to look for is you're going to look for a structure break and then retrace to get down where you think we're going to long, okay? And you want this to be in premium. If it's not in premium, it won't work for a short setup. If you're looking for a long setup and you're looking to short, you have to be in discount, okay? I mean, if you're looking for a long setup and you want a long, you have to be in long. So in this situation, we're in premium, and in order to long, because technically people will be like, oh, we're bullish, you want to long down here. So if you are confident in price going down here, so where smart money can reload again, then you can short up here only if you see the structure shift. So in this situation, we create an obvious low right here, and there's probably a smaller time frame structure shift, and technically we did reject this order block. But again, this is really big entry. So this I would consider your market structure shift. We're still in premium. We have not hit discount yet. So you're anticipating us to go down to a fair value gap down here, or even this order block. And so what do? When we have the market structure shift, we haven't hit discount yet, you look for fair value gap. And in this situation, here's your fair value gap. And your target is the 50% fib or sell side. So this would be sell side. And again, this is where you're going to sell. And the reason why I love this setup is because there's so many, like if you're shorting this, there's so many reasons for why we're going to fall. Even like in this setup, obviously this was not bullish. Like we got a market structure shift, but then it switched bearish in this trend right here. But you still can make money, because even if it was or wasn't a market structure shift, you're still expecting price to go back down into discount, okay? And that's very, very important, because you can make money like on the way down if you have a different bias. So in this situation yesterday, I remember I had a long bias, but I saw we were still in premium and I wanted to long down here. So what did I do? I shorted down here. And this won't always work every single time. It has to be clear market structure shift. There has to be clear fair value gap. If there's not, I wouldn't suggest shorting it. That usually means the momentum is too strong, because if we're not creating fair value gaps on the way down, then that means there's not a ton of selling pressure and not enough selling pressure to where we may blast back through it on the retrace. So that it might not mean we might not go to discount. The momentum might be too strong. But if you see this fair value gap plate being made on this strong displacement, you can clearly see the selling pressure here. Okay. If you look right here, this was not as much selling pressure as right here. This was more energetic and more displacement than these kind of choppy candles down. So that kind of gives you more confirmation that we will come down to where you think we're going to long if you have the opposite bias. So this was the play yesterday. I'm going to show you one more play. It happened today. So the play today was right here, and I alerted it in my Discord. I thought that we would come down again. I thought we'd come down here. I saw the market structure shift just like yesterday, and I was bullish. Why? Because if we go to the 1 hour, we're in a we were in a buy model all day. So here's the buy model. This was liquidity, and oh wait, my bad, wrong shot. So here's liquidity up here. There's liquidity right here, liquidity right here, which we just hit, and liquidity right there. So in this situation, I was bullish because we bounced off this BPR. This is the 1 hour, and it was a little more cleaner in the 4 hour. But we bounced off this 1 hour price range, this fair value gap, which is the first reason why I was bullish, and we were in the middle of a buy model off this area, okay? And in order to complete the buy model, we had to hit right here, 3747. And you can see we still haven't hit this level yet, but I'm almost 100% sure we will. If I'm wrong, that'll be awkward, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit this level. So that's kind of why I was still bullish today. I just mistimed it yesterday a little bit, but today you can kind of see that when we had this large displacement, there's not really any clean fair value gaps created right here. Technically this was one, but look, it's under an order block. So the fact that we have to break this order block to get to this fair value gap is already bearish in itself. So that's why I kind of thought we were going to go down here, and you can see this huge displacement, okay? So you can see how big this displacement is. So you kind of have to kind of guess that there's going to be a lot of selling pressure once we retrace back to these candles from leftover orders. And in this situation, this is actually a BPR on the 3 minute, which basically means these selling candles line up, and we hit this BPR, we retrace, and we hit sell side, okay? And in this situation, my point of interest was this fair value gap. Why? Because it was the optimal trade entry, or it was around that area, I think. So let me just draw these fibs. And we can see that it bounced right off the 0.705, and it was optimal trade entry. I saw that we got a market structure shift in a smaller time frame. This is the 3 minute, but there is a clear one. I think it was a little more clear in the 1 minute. But I thought that we were going to hit this price, so that's why I shorted up there. And we ended up in Discord getting a 20-point move out of it. I think someone said they sold for 16, but nonetheless, it was still really good. And at the same time, you can see how we're creating this trend line liquidity. And what happens when we create trend lines? We usually break through them, okay? You never see a trend line that we go like boom, 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 and then just way down and never break through it. Usually we end up breaking through trend lines at some point or another. So that's something also important to note. So the fact that we weren't in discount yet, we had a bullish fair value gap in discount, we can look for a short setup to get down there, and that's when you take. But if there is no short setup, if it's not obvious, if there's not a lot of selling pressure and no fair value gaps, you don't take. But when there is, this is really, really good setup because it helps you play the counter trend very easily and get to where you want along. So it's like you're playing two moves instead of one. Your first move would be, oh, the bigger picture is bullish, I want along here, but will there be an opportunity for me to short to get down there to get even more money or more points or whatever you're aiming for? So that's kind of my favorite setup to play. A lot of times it's the same formation. It's a big pump up, and then we get a structure shift on the way down, and then you shorten the retracement, and then you sell once we get to discount area off the long impulse, which is from right there. So it's a really good setup. I really like it. This can be rare some days I don't see it. On the 5 second I'll see it occasionally, or I mean on the 5 second, on the 5 minute I see it occasionally, but in the 5 second, 15 second, 1 minute I see a little more. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you find this setup. Let me know in my Discord. Basically, it's just you think we're gonna go to another point of interest where you want to play the actual trend, but you're kind of playing the counter trend by going to that area. So there's not really a name for that setup, but it's kind of more of a scalp setup to get to where we want to long or short. So again, it's a really good setup in my opinion. I haven't really posted a model on Twitter about this. Maybe I should. But for now, I'm probably done with the models for a while. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and peace.